Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. Got a whole beautiful day thing going on here, perhaps a little windy, but other than that it's all good. What am I up to today? I spent some time fixing tires. I put a tube in this one and I fixed the front one on that. I was going to put a tube into it, but I broke the bead and felt around and couldn't find any nails or anything. And it had the valve broken off, so I put a new valve on it and I sealed the tire. And I'm hoping it took. So once again, we're hoping for the best. But that's not the topic of this video. The topic of this video is this guy. I don't know if you guys remember this. I bought this a while ago. I think maybe before I started with YouTube, so perhaps over 3 years ago. Got it from a young man, I don't know, 45 minutes from me or so, out in the bush. And it was in, 3 or 4 pieces when I got it. The plastic was off because that's always the first thing you do. This tire was off and the axle was out, slid right out. It only had both wheels were off the back. The axle had slid out. Both wheels were this tire was still on the axle, but this one was off. And it was lying there, and he was like, I want to sell this. I think they only made this, it's a 250SX 1985. I think there are limited numbers. I think 85 was the big year for the 250SX. I don't think there were any 84s. A few 86s floating around, and like 1 or 2 87s, and most of those are in Canada. These are the size tires that really should be on it. They're a little small, 2211 8s. He had these monsters on it over here. And these monsters are on extra wide rims. So quite honestly, it was just, I mean, excuse the expression, but it was like somebody with a fat butt who's also in the sheriff's department. So they got like 400 pounds of guns and flashlights and walkie-talkies and all over them. I mean, I just couldn't walk by the thing. It was huge in the back. It was, and the tires, these more or less end here. They were out like another 4 inches on both sides. I couldn't get by it. It was once again like, you know, somebody putting a refrigerator in a hallway. It was just huge. So I went back to these, and these are actually, quite honestly, they're the tires that should have been on this one. But when I bought this one, it came with 2 set of tires. It came with this, you know, little, I kind of consider those like ice tires or something, or big wheel tires, or slider tires, or whatever. So here we are. So let's fire it up. Now what I had done with this thing is, when I finished using it last time, I had turned the gas off and I ran the carburetor out. So it's not giving me any real trouble starting. You can see the gas tank is pretty battered. This is Maier plastic. The seat is nothing great. This is a Maier front fender. It's missing a headlight, though I have one to put in there. The back brake lever's out, but the brakes appear to be fine. It does have the key switch, though the key switch doesn't turn it off. neutral light works. This is an upshift pattern. Let's take it for a little ride. It needs to get out. This one needs some more attention. I'm taking it out because I wanted to get it fired up again, see what shape it was in, if it needed any additional love and attention. Obviously I checked the oil. What happened was, when I got it back, he had brought it home like, it looks like it was dragged home. Hopefully it wasn't dragged home by a Suzuki. Oh no, he put it on a lawn trailer, a garden trailer, and it fell out, and like both ends of the axle were really dirty. So I cleaned them up the best I could, and got the dirt out and flushed it out the best I could. And then what I did is I put transmission fluid in it to kind of as a solvent to continue cleaning it up. So we're just going to take kind of a little bit of a gentle ride with it. Nothing too major. It actually sounds halfway decent. Let's see how she does. So we're in first. One bad thing is she sits up kind of high. Let me make sure the camera's in I screwed up once already with this. Yeah, good. I mean, she actually feels pretty good. We're in second. Got a little spring going on. I'm sitting up a little higher than I'm used to. Makes it feel tipsy-turvy, top-heavy. There is a little whir-whir coming out of the rear end. It does have, once again, transmission fluid and not 80 weight or 90 weight. I gotta change that. By the way, I was asked about my property boundaries. Over where that mailbox is kind of one corner, and that wall, that, I don't know, you guys able to see the rock wall is a boundary of my property. So it runs along the front here, and then as I go into the woods, I'm basically crossing over into somebody else's property here, the guys whose property surrounds me, but you could see how it ends right there. So he's got a flag lot without enough frontage to put a road in. So when you put a road in, you not only have to put the road in, but you have to have enough space on both sides of the road for snow removal and utility type stuff. Should they put in buried stuff, they want enough space on the road so that you're not crowding anything. And the other problem is there's a stream over there. So once again, we're on somebody else's property at this moment, but the property kind of widens up. His property actually cuts off diagonally like this. So once again, we're still on his property. This cuts around back to mine, and more or less when we come out of the brush here, we're back on my property. So I have like 2.5 acres, and a big hunk of it is up front here that you guys are looking at. This paddock is, it was a horse paddock back in the day. This paddock here is a big, really a big hunk of my property, a big hunk of my 2.5 acres. You guys can see how the grass is cut down in here. I'm actually cutting more than my property line. It actually, his property line comes closer to that side of the house. Let's kind of hang out on my property line, along my property line. So we are running parallel with my property line, give or take a little bit, but still on his, and you guys can see my house through there. And my property line does something weird. Kind of goes, even though I'm not using it, this corner by this cedar tree here is a corner on my property line. So I'm aiming the camera at my property, right? So once again, now we're running kind of parallel with my property along the back border. Boy, there was some wind. This stuff was all the way by my garage. I gotta haul that back home. So we're running parallel with my property line. Probably not all that far from the edge of it. Though we're trespassing, we're on his. This is the back barn. This is on his property line. And my property line running along the back here goes through what used to be a pool, kind of ends off in that direction, and kind of heads off in that direction to where that, it was a coal bin back in the day. So this stuff is on my property, but barely, right? Don't stall. I probably should have put some, like as I'm going through here, the coal bin's on my property line, but the kind of right through here is the edge of the property line. So once again, I'm on his property, and his flop now, right, he's got this property behind me, but it's considered wetlands. Cattails over there. This barn, though it's on a decent knoll, from a town point of view, is kind of wetlandish. Okay, we're obviously on his land here. Now that the rear end warmed up a little bit, I'm getting a little bit more roar, and it's a little more clanky on the rear end gears. Just in case this rear end strips out, I do have a couple of spares. This rock wall is the edge of his property. Yeah, this thing needed to get out and play. I got Baldy Bean tires on this, so I kind of want to keep one tire in the grass. fur in the trail. Calvin would have noticed that. That's probably where my buddy shot that coyote. I have, my property suffers from a ticks, Lyme disease ticks. Actually, it's got both kinds of ticks. Oh, this thing shifts sweet. Third. That's not a good sound, is it? She obviously stalled. I don't know, is there enough in the battery to restart it? You gotta love it when you see this kind of stuff. No. I normally don't kickstart these things, but let's give it a shot. One more try. Now what I want to do is shut down the gas because I want this thing to run out. So I'm happy she's still alive and she's still running. That is not my original 250SX. That guy is, and we'll talk about that next. This is getting to be a long video. Hopefully 231 got himself another turkey in Swiss, so we're all good. Hey folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and I hope that helped explain some of the property lines for some of you that have been asking. Once again, enjoy all your days, folks. Take care now.